Good morning. Okay, so I'd like to believe that everybody enjoyed your sip of coffees and teas, smokes. Yes? Okay. So before we get started with the first session for today here at Track 3, quickly let me introduce myself. My name is Navyata, and I'm going to be your presenter for today. On behalf of the entire team from DevOps India Summit, we extend a very, very warm welcome to all of you to DOIS 19. And as Ria was telling, so please do not forget to hashtag us. Let's make more noise at the social networking sites, at Facebook, at Twitter, by hashtagging us, which is DOIS19. So before we get started, so it's time for us to thank our sponsors, our title sponsor, Microsoft Azure, Platinum sponsor, IBM, Gold sponsors, Infosys, Publicis Sapient, CollabNet version 1, Axelos, our associate partners, Site 24/7, Track 3, Catchpoint, our partners, PeopleCert, DevOps Institute, DevOps.com, media partner, TechGig, community partner, Women Who Code Bangalore chapter, and event management, Eventex. And yes, for the highest tweet, the person can stand a chance to win a Kindle Paperwhite 10th Gen by hashtagging us DOIS19. Second highest tweet will be walking away with EcoShow 5. And as Ria said, we're going to be having the quiz contest where all of you have the quiz form. So I'm hoping that everybody is actually filled the quiz questions, yes? If not, so please do it, which the kit form, well, the quiz form is in the participation kit. All you have to do is fill it up and submit it at Alexandra stall, as all of you can stand a chance to win both Bluetooth ear headphones. And we also request all of you guys to participate at all the stalls, as we have many goodies and more learning for all of you. And we also have 6 lightning talks near the food area, which is at the first floor. And I have to talk about Slido.com. So type in the event code, which is hashtag DOIS19, and choose the right room, which is track 1, track 2, track 3. We are at track 3 here, and all of you can go to the polls tab and give your valuable feedback. Okay, so it's time for us to introduce the first session, the first gentleman here today. His name is Sivakumar Gopalan, and we also have Anand here with us. Well, he's the Senior Technical Manager DevOps from CollabNet version 1. A quick intro about the gentleman, a DevOps evangelist and Senior Technical Manager. He has 15 years of experience in the DevOps space, starting long before the DevOps term was coined. He was like to be more hands-on, has expertise in VSM, container technology like Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, cloud platform like AWS, Azure, etc. The topic for today is value stream management on customer perspective. So let's give it up for Siva and Anand here, guys. Gentlemen.
Hey all, I'm Shivakumar. So we're going to actually talk about value stream management, basically how customers really perceive this live. So we are going to actually talk about some of the case studies or how this is getting implemented in every company. I'm going to talk about a small example of how we did it in one of those customers. I'm Shivakumar, as she said, have 15 plus experience in DevOps, and I've been taking care of DevOps transformation. Anand?
Hey guys, I'm Anand Mahadevan. I'm a senior product manager with CollabNet version 1. I'm also an agile practitioner. So I've been in this field for almost 18 years. And front-ending the DevOps product right now with CollabNet version 1. Back to you, Shiva.
So we're going to actually see a couple of clips, probably a real-world example of what value stream means, or how value is getting delivered, or how to really improvise the process, whatever we have. So the first clip is from 1950, a pit stop at a F1 racing, and the second one was taken very recently. So first, let's see that, and we'll talk about it.
But Holland comes in for a pit stop. Time to refuel and change tires. Lou Moore himself changes the tires. Only 4 crew members, including the driver, are allowed to work on the car. It's a tense time. Holland stays in his seat. The tires are changed at last. A crewman polishes the windshield as Holland moves away just 67 seconds after he stopped.
So you saw that, right? That's the transformation we are talking about. So basically, how do you really get from that state to the state? How do you really measure things? How do you really get to the bottlenecks of whatever process you're following? How do you find the dependencies? And how to improve technology? All of those are based on some discussions or the process, whatever you are coming up, and how you empower the teams to really do it. So whenever we go to a customer, we do face a lot of challenges. So Anand is going to actually take over from here.
So we are actually talking about some of the key challenges in the enterprises today, right? So we do deal with quite a lot of enterprise customers. Our products are pretty much dealing with the enterprise customers, right? We day in, day out, meet with them, be part of the transformation journey, whether it's Agile or DevOps, and we tend to learn a lot from them. And basically our products are basically trying to address those problems, right? One of the major key challenge which we always see in the enterprises, the first thing is the visibility. When we say visibility, it's business value visibility. That's what we are talking about. And if you look at it, most of the cases, we lose visibility after a commit has been made or a code changes has been committed, right, into the repositories. What happens is, in the earlier stages, we never had a portfolio management tools, project management tools, or probably agile project management, ALM tools in the market. Right now, we are able to track when the backlog item comes in from the portfolio level, strategic level, work item level, and to the coding level as well, right? So there is a developer who works on the work item, commits the code, and then people walks up the user story or task or epic, whatever it is. And then it ends. Basically, right after that, there is no visibility in terms of what happens after that. The code has been committed, whether the binary or a build has been, whether it's pushed to production, how many customers are using this, what are the problems we faced, pretty much we lose the visibility. Or in other words, what is the value it actually brings into you? So we completely lose the visibility part of it. So we are talking about one of the major concerns for the enterprise is business value visibility. The next one is governance. Governance is a pretty huge one for enterprises. Day in, day out, they face this governance problem. Either they have to keep their audits via paperwork. If not, they have to keep everything in a centralized system so that they can able to visualize and provide the details to the auditors, right? Governance is also related to the visibility part. It's directly aligned with whatever happened, how it's been happened, all these things, right? So if you are doing a continuous delivery in an organization and you have a change set which needs to get in, you have to go through pretty much all the controls, approvals process before you can do a change, right? So for that to happen, we need to go through a set of audit trials. Get those things done before you actually get into the auditors, right? There are external auditors, internal auditors, and sometimes we don't know what is the process we follow. And most cases, teams work on silos and they try to manage their own set of audit trials. So this is something we thought we can actually address it. Wherever we go, we hear this from the enterprises saying governance is a major, major concern for them. So next thing is the measurement. We always talk about the reporting, measurements, metrics. Any tool you talk about, visible metrics is matter most for any tool, right? Be it DevOps tool, be it ALM tool, Agile project management tool, whatever it is. One of the key challenge in the metrics is you can create vanity metrics which can talk for yourself. Basically, you can gain or malpractice and metrics to talk it for on behalf of you or on behalf of your team, right? So we need to have common metrics which will be agreed upon for between everyone, be it business or IT, make sure everybody are aligned with the proper metrics, which would also help us to drive the business, right? We need to understand what are the problems we face and how we can address them in a proper way. So recently, we met with a company. We were actually trying to do a DevOps workshop. So during the workshop, we spoke to them, and if you hear it from the business side of it, business always felt there is a major problem. And whatever IT is delivering, we always face the problem after it goes to the production. So they have their own set of metrics, and they are talking based on that, right? So that's what the business believe in. Whereas the IT folks believe they manage their own set of metrics. It's called how the items are moved to testing, development, deployment probably, and then they stop there. They believe everything is going on well, right? Because they were measuring the outcomes, not the outputs, whereas business is measuring the outputs, right? So the problem is both the people are right on their own perspective, but it's actually not helping the business to grow. So that's the other major challenge which we thought we can address it, right? That's the other thing which we are looking at it. So what is the solution for that? So we are actually talking about making value stream visible. We want to try to address all these three major problems together and have a value stream management put in place to help us to solve the problem. Shiva, you have any points on this one?
Yeah, so value stream management is basically having to actually probably let us talk about some amount of history, right? So basically value stream management comes from the manufacturing background where this has been a craze for years now, and they were able to really improve a lot of things based on value stream management and lean practices, whatever they have. So, so whatever we are going to talk here is based on whatever we have captured from the manufacturing industry into the software industry. You want to add to it?
So what we are talking about here is basically concept to cash. We have an hypothesis or an idea, and we have to follow certain steps or practices to make sure that actually goes into the business. Hypothesis, converting into the business, what are the steps involved to get that into the business? That's what we are talking about as a VSM right now. It's basically concept to cash, right? I will hand it out to Shiva to talk about the other workshop and other items.
So this is one of the workshops which we did in the US for one of our clients, and this was done by our peers. We're just showcasing here. There are multiples actually here. So given an example, right? So we basically talk with all the executive team to understand what kind of value they would ultimately want to deliver, and we come up with all the value streams and get the stakeholder for each of those value streams, get them as a group in a room, talk about what they are currently working on and what are the process they are following internally, and bring everybody into that same page actually. So that will give some visibility for everyone who's working on that particular value stream, and they will be able to see what kind of phases or what the other teams are really currently doing on to get to the state whatever it is currently. So that way they will be able to give feedback or get to other discussions where they can also improve on whatever they are currently working on. So in this list, if you see, usually we do it like each of these columns probably could be one particular stage of the value stream or activity, whatever they are performing, and the ones below could be the set of steps which has to be followed for each of these activity or stages or whatever it is. It depends. So the color coding is basically some priority representation of what has to be done where and stuff like that and all. So it depends on the group, whatever we are working on. So based on that, we come up with a unique process for that particular team or whatever. So from here, we get to the
so if you guys have attended the workshop or yesterday's workshop from CollabNet version 1, we were actually trying to cover this one as well, right? So this is something happens when all the cross-functional stakeholders join together and attend this one. This is a workshop conducted by version 1, CollabNet version 1. It's a 2-day workshop. It's even done in India right now.
So this is how we capture the current state, right? So usually it starts with the business. Probably there'll be a requirement from the business. The requirement probably gets to the first stage of the process. The first row, whatever you see here, like plan, code, test, blah, 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 and finally it gets to the delivery stage where the values originally finally obtained. And again, you have some feedback and the loop continues like that. So as you can notice, these are the different stages in the value pipeline or the value stream. And below that, we have all the teams which are responsible for delivering that particular stage or activity in that value stream. So, below this, there are some 3 key metrics which I'd say is the most important metrics or the only ones which will really give value and it'll get you to success. These are something very common for all the stages. This is not very specific to that particular team, and if they can really achieve or if they can improve these metrics, then you can get to success. The first one here is the lead time. So the lead time is basically the time which it takes for that particular stage from the start of it to the end of it, like until the output of that particular stage is getting delivered to the next stage. So in this case, if you take an example, you get a request and probably it gets to the PM team and the architecture team. It sits in the queue and it takes a while until someone really picks it up, and then they process that request and deliver a story or a work item or a feature to the next team, which is the dev team. So the whole time which it takes, including the wait time, is called as the lead time. So the next item is the process time. Process time is or touch time in some cases they call it as is the time which the people who are working on it really spent on delivering that particular value. So that is measured as process time. And the last one is the quality measure. We call it as percentage complete and accepted. Percentage complete and accurate. So this measure basically tells about how quality the output of this particular stage was. Like in this example, if you see the output, so this measure basically comes from the next stage. So in this case, 60% means that the output of that particular stage was usable as is by the development team in 60% of the cases. And 40% of the time, they had to actually go back for some clarification or some elaboration so that they can really take up that particular story or feature to really work on it. So this is measured for each of these stages. And with the collation of all these things, you have aggregation at the top right corner there. So we have the total process time, which is the overall time it takes for the whole value stream to complete, which is 269 days in this case. And you have the lead time is 269 days, and the process time is 64.5 days out of that 269 days. And the difference between these two will give you the efficiency in which this particular process works. In this case, it is around 24%. And the aggregation of the quality metric, what we were talking about, is around 26%, which is the rolled percentage complete and accurate metric.
Yeah.
So
Just to note, right, this is the outcome of our workshop. So right after the workshop, cross-functional team and our instructor or a trainer will also work with them to come up with this visual indication. So go ahead, Shiv.
So now that we have captured everything in the state, all right, we've captured the current state, and we have to really see how to really improve the state to a more efficient or an optimal way, isn't it? So as you can see, it's very glaring to see that it takes 269 days for a particular feature to get delivered from the planning stage, right? So it's almost 9 months. It's a lot of time. So that's one key thing you would like to actually reduce. So if you drill down to each of those stages, you'd notice that some of those stages has a lot of lead time. So let us get to those stages and see if we can really improvise. And if you further drill down, you would notice that there's a lot of wait time in some of those activities. So basically, if you can optimize that, then obviously you can make the process more efficient, right? So that's what we would have to really target. So with this in mind, right? So we usually we get all the stakeholders at this point to really talk about process improvement in that particular stage and see how we can really reduce the time or reduce the wait time and other aspects, whatever we get to from this point. So.
The ones in yellow are actually the problem areas. The ones yellow plus red are major problem areas which we thought we need to address. So if you look at the lead time and the process time, there is a huge difference, right? The process time is pretty less, the lead time is pretty high. Those are all the ones we basically circled out.
Yeah, so with that in place, we get to all these suggestions on how to really improve and stuff like that, right? So these are some of the suggestions which we provide, and also the teams come up with their own suggestions. And you can see that in some cases, test-driven design, test-driven development is helpful. In some cases, the behavioral driven development is helpful, and automation helps in some cases. So in these two cases, if you see both in unit tests, automation might really improve things a lot. Similarly for acceptance testing, where the wait time is really high, automation can again help in reducing the wait time. So, so with this state in mind, we do have a lot of discussion to see which of these would really work for the team, because not everything might really work for that particular team. So this exercise would really empower the team to really make decisions, get their say on whether the whole thing is something they feel is going to really work or not. So by that, we will be able to improve the efficiency of that particular process. So with this in mind, so we have captured whatever the improvements as per the advice from the teams. So the ones in yellow, you see, are the ones which the team felt can be improvised, and the ones in blue are the improvements, whatever they felt can really work for them. In some cases, it is process improvement. In some cases, it is technology improvement. And with this, we come to the ones marked in green, where the actual improvements are marked there, or that is the target state where we would like to get from this current state, whatever we saw a couple of slides back. So
here also, if you look at it, right, the ones in yellow are the problem areas we want to really focus. The ones in the green area, we want to see the improvement, right? So that's a target improvement which we want to achieve. Over a period of time, the target state become the current state at one point of time, and then we'll start working on further improvements. That's the whole idea behind the value stream management itself, right? Go ahead, Joe.
yeah, this is the summary. So based on whatever methodologies you're using, probably Scrum or XP or the DevOps hat, whatever you're wearing, you have to really make an action plan on how you're going to really achieve whatever we came from the last slide. So in this case, it is they took SAFe, and they've come up with some metrics on prioritization and stuff like that and all. And overall, if you see, they have reduced the time of delivery. The lead time is reduced to 52%, and the process time has improved to 49%, which was very low in the previous state. And the team has also come up with a timeline for implementing this whole process, which is around 2 quarters, and that's the current state of improvement.
The important metric here is the concept to cache is basically 52% improvement, and code to cache is 61% improvement, right? So that's what we're actually looking at. And this is something all the teams agreed upon, working on it to do the improvement, right? This is one of the other outcome of our 2D workshop with the enterprise company in US, and then this is the plan we actually put together to do the improvement. Probably the kind of a last slide, right? This is the V model which we are talking about. We are talking about the value capture and the value delivery. The one on the top is basically concept to cache. The one is the bottom on the SCM side of it. Once a commit comes in, we are trying to map the things from the artifacts, packages, release, and the deployments to the value delivery part of it. If you look at it, you can be able to see how the work items getting created and what are the processes or the tools we follow. Sorry. What are the tools or processes we follow to achieve that, right? We're talking about the stream of activities. If you look at the Forrester Wave, this is what they are talking about. It's a combination of process, people, process, and tools, along with providing the visibility and the governance to achieve it, right? So that's the value stream management part, which we are trying to cover here. Shiva, you have any other points?
Yeah, so if you see the value capture part, right, this is something which you already have a lot of tools. You would already be using tools where you can actually capture the metrics, whatever I was talking about. In some cases, there are a lot of constraints in capturing metrics around this area, but there are some new tools. Our company also has a tool called Continuum, which actually does that. And it also works on a heterogeneous manner. You can use any tool in both cases. And this tool will be able to capture you all these data and give it as a dashboard to make decisions so quick. Because for whatever we saw so far, right, this is not a one-time activity. You have to do this multiple times. And collecting all this data would be a humongous effort. Rather, if you use some tools, probably you'll be able to do it more often, and that's something which is key for having some continuous improvement in your process, actually. So that's all I have.
With that, we come to an end of this session. So you guys have any questions? Yes, please.
You talked about the automation process or tools for the different phases, right? The planning, you are suggesting the BDD, and in the coding phase, you are suggesting the TDD. How the handshaking happens between both the approaches, right? There is some contradictory are there between the BDD and the TDD. How the handshaking happens?
So it's different teams.
So the activity happens in different teams, right? That the PM team probably is the one which is going to use the BDD, and it's for the developers. We were suggesting the TDD. So it is totally different teams which are going to use that. So I don't know if there is a real need for a handshake for this.
See, when we talk about the Agile or a Scrum, right, the team over here is one team who is doing everything, right? So it is not a separate team altogether.
You are right.
Yeah.
You are right. It's basically a cross-functional team alone, right? We are talking
Yes.
about that.
So
The
how is
thing
that?
which we have shown there, it's basically on a big major enterprise which is trying to follow the old style way of development.
Waterfall model?
It's called
Yes.
SAFe. SAFe is the approach what we were talking about there, where they are trying to actually do scrum of scrums between large teams, and where such kind of things might really help. In your case, probably it may not help.
But even in your case, right, how is the handshaking? Because the behavior-driven development is something like you are concentrating on the behavior only, and you are writing a test cases around that. Then when you are passing from that feature to the developer, so developer will start with a test-driven. So like how is that handshaking? That's what I want to understand. Even if you want to implement.
Obviously, these are test cases which are captured by the PM team, right? It's the development team will analyze that and probably add more if required, even before starting it. So I'm not an expert.
So
of
end of the
both
day, right, we
BDD
do
or
three
TDD.
Amigo sessions where we actually have both PO, dev team and the QA team working together. That's the main thing which we do.
Okay. Thank you.
So how do we handle rework in value stream management? So in case it goes back from one team to another, again goes back the other side. So how do we handle
So
that?
if you look at it, this is exactly what happens. Probably we get the deployment automation and they deploy to production. Right after that, there are chances of coming back again as a feature or a issue, whatever it is. That's an arrow which you have put it down on the top, right? It will again go through the entire process and get it delivered.
No, actually, see, there are two aspects to it. One is it completes the whole cycle. You get a feedback and then you rework. Yeah, that's the one what Anand was talking about, right? But if it is between teams, you know that there is some problem because you already measure that, and it's up to the team to decide how to really improve that. We probably can sit along and give some sessions, but each team is different. You cannot really have one solution for everything, actually. So.
Thank you. Do we capture that as any form of metrics as part of
Yes,
that rework?
that's the percentage complete and accurate, right? So it tells whether 90% of the time there's no rework is what that says there. So 10% of time. So it was originally it was not that high actually. It was very low. It was around 26%. That's the improvement we have got to.
Okay, thank you.
Again, we are talking about a target state on that one. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, you said some sort of dashboard, right? Like you can show it or visualize it.
Yeah, that's right. But that's on the product. We actually had a session yesterday for the demo of the product itself.
Okay.
We don't really have it right here. But if you'd like to actually have a demo, visit our
Sure.
booth. We can actually show something for you. Any other questions?
So we thought we can ask a couple of questions and give away goodies. Shiva, you want to ask some interesting questions on value stream management? 2 questions allowed.
I was not prepared for this.
Even I was not prepared, but still I will ask some question to you guys. So, what's the question we can ask is what I'm actually thinking. What is value stream management?
Mike.
Go ahead, man.
Understanding the end-to-end mapping of your current process, as well as when we do the improvements, then we will get to know what is the future state of the existing process.
The current state and the future.
Right, yeah.
Okay, very good. Anybody else want to give it a try? Go ahead.
So value stream mapping is mapping a value to each phase of the development, and wherever there is a lag, continuous improvement on the current state and the target state in each iteration.
Okay. You want to give it a try? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's about mapping from concept to cash. Any idea that comes into all through the process, how it comes into the business again, and what are all the areas where it is actually taking the time, and how can we do the improvement in that.
Okay, very good. Actually, almost 3 people are right, but I want to give to 2 people rather than asking Anand one more question. Probably give the goodies to 2 people. So this guy and the other lady. Thank you very much, guys.
We request you to kindly come on stage to collect your proud goodie, please. Please walk up. A very hearty congratulations. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. A very hearty congratulations. Okay, so we request Archana Joshi, Head Transformation from L&T Infotech, to kindly join us on stage to hand over the certificate and memento to Siva, please. A small token of appreciation from the entire team of GOIS 19. Thank you so much, sir, for enriching your knowledge towards this. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Subhan Anand. Thank you. And if all of you are actually getting confused to what all sessions are happening in respective halls, respective tracks, we request all of you to kindly walk up outside the hall where have a look at the LED screens and choose the topic and the session which is happening on the respective tracks. And do not forget to hashtag us by hashtag DOIS19. And to give your valuable feedback on the session, please take out your phones and go to slido.com and choose your respective room, the track 3. And there is an option of polls tab and questions tab where all of you can give your valuable feedback.